Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies has been suspended from all team activities. And I just think it's so funny what he keeps getting in trouble for. He's obviously had a bit of a checkered track record over the course of the last year. You might have remembered that he's being sued by a high school basketball prospect after a fight during a pickup game in Morant's backyard where he and somebody else allegedly punched a boy 12 or 13 times before going into his house, coming back out with a gun. Ja Morant likes his gun. Ja Morant was suspended for just 8 games earlier this year after a video in March showed him holding a gun while intoxicated at a Denver club when the Grizzlies were in town to play Denver. He was suspended for just 8 games for that. Well, guess what? The Memphis Grizzlies have suspended Ja Morant from all team activities after a video showing the star guard holding a gun began circulating on social media Saturday night. What is going on here? Why is Ja Morant so obsessed with showing people he's got a piece? Why is it that he feels the need to, first off, constantly have it on him, but second, to flex it? Is he 5? Serious question. The last time I was holding a fake gun when I was 5, when I was 6, or like when I was 8, I thought I was cool, but I was also holding a fake gun and I was also 8 and it wasn't a real gun again. Ja Morant loves holding a real gun like he is a 5-year-old. And I think it's even funnier that people keep on catching this on video. How often is he doing this where it's not on video? Instagram Live is mindless, unentertaining, lazy content as it is. So people actually watch Ja Morant, I guess, just sitting in a car, driving around town. I have no idea why. And Ja, to his credit, at least adds a little bit of flavor because you never know when he's going to pull out a gun. So that's fun, but please help me out with this. I don't get why anybody watches him on this Instagram Live. I don't get why he's posting the Instagram Lives or his friends are posting the Instagram Lives after what happened literally in March. This is less than 2 months ago. What is happening here? I think it's hysterical, but he's obsessed with pulling out his gun.
I feel like Instagram Live really is only to get famous people in trouble. Like, there's no other, like,
Right.
like you could ask, like, why would you want to watch Ja Morant do anything on Instagram Live? And like you said, at least he pulls out guns. At least there's prop work going on. But yeah, like when Damian Lillard does one, I'm like, are all these people just watching to see if he says, I want to get traded? Like, what possibly could you want to know from? And the funniest thing about this is that I don't think this was Ja Morant going live because A, he wasn't holding the phone. B, there's only 115 viewers on this Instagram Live.
Oh, man.
So it was probably his friend.
Oh.
And you saw his friend, how quickly he's like, Ja Morant only has a gun visible in that video for like half a second because his friend, I guess, shout out to him, like quickly drops the phone and like just is like, we're not doing that.
There's no shout out to him. His friend, I guarantee you, posted that Instagram Live to flex that he was hanging out with Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Hoping that would get him some
runoff.
biddies.
Yes.
Right, exactly. Like he's trying to get laid by posting the fact that he's friends with Ja Morant.
But he knows that the Ja Morant is my friend gravy train only works if Ja Morant's still in the NBA. And so we can't, Ja Morant, I'm asking you, please stop waving around guns so I can get laid. Please stop doing that. I need you to just dunk. That's what's getting me laid, not the guns.
Has he ever fired it? The way that Ja
It doesn't look like it.
like holds it.
The strip club gun, which by the way, it's funny that we have to make a distinction of which gun incident is happening with Ja Morant. The strip club one was funny because he was kind of just dangling it, but
Yes.
just pointing it at at himself.
And it was a tiny gun. I'm not even sure his finger could fit inside the trigger spot, whatever the hell that is. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not a gun expert. But I don't think Ja is either. And yet, he's always carrying one. And it's like he's a 5-year-old kid who's obsessed with weapons. And I've been there. Again, when I was 5. One time my mom picked me up from Sunday school. And she asked me, hey, how did it go? I'm 5 or 6. And I said, it was too Jesus-y. I wish it was more weapony. Actual quote. Confirmed happened. Didn't get it on video, though. Much like we did catch Ja Morant on video holding a gun. And I think it's hilarious that this is a guy who, again, just had this happen to him. He should be staying away from all guns. All of them. Stay the hell away. But no, let's bring the gun out on the road. Is he shooting it up in the air? Honestly, I don't know. I would imagine
he's
at
Billy
some
the
point,
Kid, like he's in the Wild West, where he just likes to shoot it like Yosemite Sam.
Maybe. Whatever the case, it's just pathetic that this is what he's always getting in trouble for. Not the punching the teenager 12 to 13 times and then going back in the house to go get a gun and then flexing that he had the gun. Like, that is not what he got in trouble for. He got in trouble for going on Instagram Live with a gun, now twice.
Yeah, like listening to music and he just pulls out a gun, like just having fun with his friends and listening to music in a car. It's hilarious.
So he's going to have to go to what? Rehab again for this? Because remember, he went to like a counseling center in Florida.
Yeah,
what did they tell him to do? Don't pull out a gun on Instagram Live, Ja.
Well, it was because of the stress. He talked
stress?
about it was stress. It was a reaction to the stress he's under, and they taught him some breathing exercises. And I mean, you can tell he's just under so much stress after being out of the playoffs for 3 weeks now. It's just such a stressful time. That's why it's smart that Memphis suspends him from all team activities that are happening on May 15th. You know how many team activities are happening on May 15th if you're not in the playoffs.
Right, yeah.
That's why it's so stressful for him. He has to go to all these team activities. And it is funny that the Memphis Grizzlies are suspending their best player and the guy who took the third most shots on their team last year, Dylan Brooks, is under no circumstances allowed back on the premises.
The circumstance that gets Dylan back.
No, absolutely not.
But there's gotta be an exception. So look, Ja Morant is addicted to pulling out guns on Instagram Live. Everyone has their niche. So I thought we might need to introduce something new for Ja Morant so that he can be weaned off this process of needing to have a gun on him at all times to just pull out randomly. So I found an interesting product online. Do you keep getting in trouble for videos of you online where you're holding a pistol, but it's in a totally unthreatening and non-menacing way and really isn't a big deal, but everyone's all pissed about it?
This is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off.
Well, friends, we have the solution for you. Introducing the wooden gun.
This is a dummy gun. They use it for ceremony.
It's a wooden gun.
Oh! Still the same gun fun? But there's no way you're gonna shoot someone. Get your wooden gun today! Warning, wooden gun can be used as a weapon to pistol whip somebody. Please don't, especially if they're a teenager. And if they're a teenager, don't do it 12 to 13 times. Wooden gun. That's what we need to get Ja Morant. Just give him a wooden gun, like in the other guys, where they gave it to Will Ferrell after he decides to take an office shot up into the ceiling.
Do you think Ja Morant has done an office pop at the Memphis Grizzlies team facility, in the locker room? Just
I would be stunned if he hasn't. At this point, I would be stunned if he has not. At some point, with the little pea shooter he's got, which I'm not even sure. I think it's a trigger guard. Everyone's roasting me for not knowing the phrase. Whatever. Okay, you know what I'm talking about here.
I also
I don't think he could fit his finger in that gun.
It's good that
He's
Paul.
so tiny.
It's honestly good that Paul isn't into guns, guys.
I kind of am. kind of am.
No, I mean, you don't know what you're not over there like on a gun YouTube. Like, so here's the trigger guard, here's the da da da, here's the da da da.
I got a safe in my backyard. It's in my bunker.
Because I feel like Paul,
with a bunch of gold and a bunch of that supply that lasts you for like 5 years.
exactly. You're very close to being radicalized at all times in any direction, and
it's
so
true.
many different directions you could be radicalized, and then throwing guns in the mix. I feel. I don't want Paul to be the station's Ja Morant.
I don't know. I would, because then I could get some ads out of that. But like, I would always make like important clarifications in the commercials. Plug a lot here for Smith and Wesson or Lockheed Martin. Hey, make sure that you don't pull out a gun when you're on Instagram Live.
Lockheed Martin. Yeah.
You can get a bazooka.
they make tanks.
Yeah, well, they probably make some like anti-aircraft guns or something. I don't know. Listen, we go big. We go big here on the Plug a Lot Show. We were talking in the last segment about Memphis Grizzlies guard Ja Morant getting suspended for legitimately a second time for a video of him being posted where he's brandishing a pistol, which is truly incredible. And naturally, we have a lot of actually gun guys on the text line. Didn't think this would happen. Someone points out, Paul, it's not Smith and Weston. It's Smith and Wesson. Actually, you don't know what the real thing is. It's Smith and Walensky, you dumbass. Get it right. Smith and Lewinsky guns. Smith and Lewinsky guns. Okay? That's what it is. Also, people are acting like the trigger spot isn't a thing. It is. Trigger guard, no more. It's the trigger spot. 713-780-3776. 409, Josh texts in. Ja's immature and is lacking gun safety, but this particular incident was in a stationary vehicle and he was in the passenger seat. The reports he was driving around flexing his gun aren't really accurate. So he wasn't driving? Josh, you might have a career as a lawyer.
Yeah, he was riding around.
The problem is he's a 5-year-old that loves guns and flexing them, and that he thinks that his life is constantly a music video. Do you think that like when he walks around the house, he imagines himself like going through it, like walking to the toilet in slow motion?
He definitely he listens to music and waves around his gun in his house. Yes, 100%.
Do you think there's the NBA on ABC theme is playing in the background as he just is walking around his house? He's got a pistol in his ass crack and he's about to go take a leak. And he's slowly walking, and he might be wearing sweatpants, so he's not 100% sure if the gun's going to stay stationary. Ask Plaxico Burris about that, and all of a sudden, like, it moves for a second, and he's like, oh, damn, it's about to fall through my butt crack, and then all of a sudden, it might accidentally fire on me like I'm Plaxico, so then he has to, like, slow motion, like, save it from happening. That's what Ja Morant does when he walks around the house. HRW_S1W on the Twitch, twitch.tv/ESPN975. What's wrong with Ja flexing his Second Amendment right? The problem is the NBA clearly hates it. Like, they gave him a really light slap on the wrist for the last time. This is not going to be a show where we're all like, yeah, let's all flex our pistols. Let's not do that.
Also, like, can you not do it in, like, the stupidest way possible, please? Like, yes, you could have Ja Morant. Hey, newsflash to everyone. Ja Morant is not the only NBA player that has guns, like more than one gun. I'm guessing a lot of them have a lot of guns. How many Instagram lives do you see of these guys waving their guns around? How many times are they getting sued for beating up a teenager and then going in their house and pulling a gun out? How many times has that happened to anyone else? Anyone else?
Has this ever happened to you?
Anyone else in the NBA? There's 450 NBA players. Like, what are we? Like, this isn't a gun issue. This isn't a like gun Second Amendment issue. This isn't a like. Well, if he was hunting, if he was hunting, we wouldn't have any problem with it. Of
Sean,
course not. That's
stop trying
moronic.
to take guns out of hardworking Americans' hands.
I'm trying to take it out of Ja Morant's hands.
No,
just on Instagram Live.
You
Just
may
do
as
it.
well. You may as well be Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez right now, just calling for an outright ban on guns. A text from Eric the driver, Paulie G, the same man who thought Akeem Olajuwon holding up his pee-covered hands would stop a bullet is now going to lecture Ja Morant on gun safety. I appreciate all the references that were pulled into one there because Eric the driver's a real one. Thomas and Katie has a thought at 713-780-3776. This show has progressed from James Harden coming back to Houston to gun control among athletes. Should athletes be allowed to brandish firearms on Instagram Live? Someone's got to step up. Charlton Heston. Is he still alive? Honestly, I have no idea. He's got to stand up. The NRA, they've got to stand up for people posting videos of themselves holding guns on Instagram Live. Thomas, what you got?
Oh, I was just going to say that you should have a plug on your commercials where you say, I'm not gonna tell you what to do or anything like that, but you need to go buy a Smith & Wesson. And if you are going to go on Instagram Live, it needs to be a Smith & Wesson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or a Smith & Walensky, or a Smith & Lewinsky, whatever it is. I'm not 100% sure, Thomas, but that could be a nice disclaimer to add. And again, Big Gun, I'm here for you. I will sell myself for that.
You just asked if Charleston Heston is still alive.
Is he dead?
He died in 2008.
Ah, damn. 15 years off.
He's been dead for most of my life.
Listen, as you can tell, this show is not, let's just say, always sure of what they're saying. We just say it confidently. We ask questions. We make old references. Damn, he's been dead for 15 years. Who's repping the NRA? I would assume that the NRA would have just been dissolved by now if Charlton Heston isn't there to defend it. Damn.
I'm just going to look up NRA spokesperson.
It's probably going to be someone boring at this point. Maybe it should be Ja Morant. That's his next career, his next calling. Are you in your car with your friend? Are you listening to Hit 'Em Up by Tupac? But you want people to know that you're hard? The best way to do it, brandish a firearm. That's how you do it. That's how you show you're tough. That's the Memphis Grizzlies grindhouse way. Right? That's the thing. Grit and grind.
Grit and grind.
Yeah. Grit and grind.
Grit and grind and gun.
That's the new addition to that. It's the Paul Gallant Show, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Sean Mapes is laughing. Why are you laughing?
I'm looking at the NRA. I just looked up NRA spokesperson.
Yeah.
And 11 Hollywood stars in the NRA. I have no idea if this is
Alec Baldwin?
I have no idea.
I'm just asking.
I don't think he promotes safe gun ownership.
Definitely does not.
Yeah, I think that's
You can
really
do PSAs for it now.
that's really the issue here. Is like Ja Morant, go to like a gun training course, please. Honestly, like
just don't bring it with you all the time.
now who's trying to take guns out of the NBA?
Hire security.
Well, that too. Like you have like 9 people around you at all times. Why don't they hold the guns?
Do you think he would try to take the gun from security too? He's like, hey, dude, just for a second. I got a sick Snapchat filter. It's like the puppy dog filter. He posts the puppy dog filter while he's still holding a gun.
See, that would actually be funny. That's the thing. Like he doesn't. It's not in a funny way. It's man, I really love this new NBA YoungBoy album. Let me wave the gun around while I'm rapping along.
How many sales do you think that we've made for Smith and Heston over the course of this last segment?
Smith and Heston.
Smith and Heston, yeah. What is it? Is it something else? I'm asking the question. I don't know what it is.
You're mixing up Charlton Heston and
I went from Smith and
Wesson.
Walensky to Smith and Wesson to Smith and Weston to Smith and Heston.
Yeah.
They all sound the same.
There's a picture of Karl Malone and Chuck Norris on this NRA spokesperson.
Hell yeah, brother. What?
Yeah, that's why I was laughing.
Karl Malone, that is a surprise.
Oh, it's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise?
No, he's a hick.
Oh, okay.
Also, Tom Selleck.
Oh, see, Tom Selleck makes sense. Like Tom Selleck. So Hawaii with Magnum PI back in the day. Like, okay, that's one thing because Tom Selleck was a sex symbol in the '80s. But now that he's doing Blue Bloods on CBS, like that's the perfect guy who you can have as your NRA spokesperson.
You got James Hetfield from Metallica and Whoopi Goldberg are 2 pictures that are back to back.
Wait. No way.
In 2012, Whoopi Goldberg revealed on The View that she is a member of the NRA during an interview with libertarian writer and TV pundit John Stossel.
And she's still on The View?
Yeah.
I gotta say, Whoopi Goldberg surviving cancel culture. That is impressive.
I don't mind having to register and letting them know I have them. I want people to know that there's way to. Yeah.
We're all over the place today.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
All these are like pretty funny too. Like that's the thing. They're
713-780-3776 to call in. To text it as well.
Miranda Lambert.